Joe's on time, so
Whoop,
that's
whoop.
surprising.
There you go, Joe.
I'm here.
So we got a lot of stuff to talk about. I'm really excited for it because, a lot happened in this week. I think this is one of those times where we did the show on Monday and then all the real news started happening. So
Yeah, that was a test run. Today's the real deal.
So we got a lot of stuff today, but I'm just going to pull up the general stuff. You know how it is. We like to do the general stuff first. So
Save the best for last.
Save the best for last because there's going to be a lot of Mets stuff to talk about. But so what we have here is basically Rob Manfred talking about shortening commercial breaks, and he says, I fully agree with the idea of examining our commercial breaks in our broadcast, and it's something that we should be doing, Manfred said. There are contractual limitations on when we could do this. We have existing commitments, but that certainly should be an issue we look at as well. So basically, here's how you translate this to English, okay? We got too much money we're making, but shortening the commercial breaks would help. You know that shortening
I'm for it. I'm totally for it.
You know that shortening like a few 20-second, commercials could probably save off like so much time in a baseball game. More than these, they want to talk about shortening the games, more than these rule changes could do. The main thing that I think keeps this game going 3+ hours is the commercials.
And I think SNY is the worst with that. I don't know. You guys watch the Mets games all the time.
Yeah.
There are times where SNY misses a play. They'll
come back in the middle of it.
They'll come back.
You're right.
Like
now that you bring that up,
the other day
you're
I'm watching the
right.
game, right? And I'm watching a commercial, and they go back, and I see Jay Bruce walking off the field. He just grounded out. Like, they just missed a thing.
Usually have like Gary Cohen say something. Oh, and this just happened. Now they
didn't have Gary there, so it's like whatever happened was completely lost. Now you're missing the whole thing together. But I'm for the whole idea with no commercials or the shortening of commercials rather, because I feel like it's more for the fans, more for the players, more for the viewers, and I feel like it's better for us.
Of course, there's got to be
us.
commercials. There's got to be a break. There's got to be a time to go to the concession stands. There's got to be time that I look down and text my girgirlfriend. There's got to be times where
it's a win-win for everyone.
It's a win-win, but I'm just saying.
Shout out to the boys back home.
The commercial breaks are just really long. I think they could be shortened. Maybe if they just remove 1 or 2 commercials from the commercial breaks. Maybe one. Maybe just one commercial. It would help because what are they like 30 seconds? And they do come back late, and they are pretty long. And I mean, it's not just baseball with this problem. I know football has a lot of commercials.
I feel like
too.
if anything, I feel like FCC should be more on hands with sporting games, because sporting games, it's like if you miss something, you miss it, and it's not like you can rewind it and look back if it's not being broadcasted. But with that being said, like I said, FCC should regulate the times and the averages of commercials and how they average their sporting events and stuff like that, and take them into consideration, because these are different events. So different events, different measures. But yeah, like what you've been saying before, like I'm totally down for the idea of shortening the commercials.
Yeah.
Like I said, but I'll say it again, it's a win-win for I think everybody watching the game.
Yeah.
Now, like Joe, I know you go to games a lot. I mean, during the commercials, do you usually go out and get something from like the snacks, or are you in your seat the whole time? During the inning.
From the first time I've ever gone to a game to now, I've always been that person who just sits there and watches the game.
That's what I would do.
That's what I've been doing my whole life. Yeah.
I just get up to go to the bathroom, but other than that,
I usually make my parents get my food and I just sit there and watch
yeah,
the
I
game.
honestly do the same thing sometimes.
Don't they have this thing where they deliver now?
Only if you're sitting in like the front row.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Only in
special,
like, those
special
premium
perks.
stuff.
Yeah.
I always wait for the person to come around, because they'll come around.
It's actually interesting. When I went on the tour the other day, in the Hyundai Club is like right below the second deck. It's like its own little thing.
Are you going to be there? Is that where you got your season tickets?
No, I'm not getting. No. My girlfriend's uncle got season tickets. I'm not getting season tickets.
Oh, okay.
Well, shout out
okay.
to them. That's a huge step in the right direction.
But is it there?
He just
in
brought
the
me
Hyundai
along
Club?
for the ride. No, but he showed us the Hyundai. He's not getting them there, but he showed us the Hyundai Club.
It's pretty expensive.
And in the Hyundai, it is. Well, in the Hyundai Club, you could just get up, go up the stairs, and then there's like a little club.
Oh wow! Well,
Club.
yeah.
And it's just it's a buffet. You just
Yeah,
grab
that's
whatever
crazy.
you want and then go down. It's sick.
Yeah,
that
I've
seems
done it for
cool.
Delta Club.
Delta Club,
the
too,
Delta
yeah.
Club, the seats are right behind home plate, and they're just so soft. You don't want to get up. You have no reason to get up.
Yeah.
Commercial break, thing in the past.
But
Yeah,
it's just
commercial break.
limited to a certain group of people. So
Sure, yeah.
But,
That is
you're
true.
in and out.
Do I think it will happen? Not soon. I think again they apparently have contract obligations. They probably do. I'm just saying that when that thing is up, think about all the lost revenue. I mean, that's just the problem.
But baseball makes so much money as it is. They have money to burn.
They make
basically.
so
I mean,
much
it's
money. I'm
like-
shocked how much money they
If
make.
anything, I'm like, it's, give a little to get a little type of thing. They made their money already. Now trying, give it back to us for a bit.
They're not going to take a hit from it.
No,
No,
But
they wouldn't take a
they'll
hit.
Find,
It's just that-
strategically, they'll find other ways to make money in other places,
Sure.
not specifically on the commercial breaks.
Mhm.
I think that's fair.
And plus, listen, even besides the commercials, the TV deals, the jersey deals. I mean, how much money have the Mets made on Tebow? He's already starting a spring training game. We'll talk.
We
about
got to
that.
talk about that.
But we will talk about that. But I mean, like, again, there's so much that I think that sport is just making a crap ton of money. And I know they talk about the millennial problem with getting people. And by the way, that's going to be our next story. I didn't tell you guys. But I mean, they just make a crap ton of money, and it's just they could afford to cut down a commercial or two. But that actually is a perfect segue, because did you know that MLB has partnered with Game of Thrones, the HBO series, and this is the quote: specific promotional offerings have yet to be determined and will vary by team, but they'll include development of collectible and co-branded merchandise, ticket packages, giveaways, theme nights, and social media events. 19 teams have opted into the cross-promotional partnership. Exact details are sparse, but the article notes that this effort will be more expansive than the ones previously ran with Marvel and Star Wars. So,
I got a really good. So I honestly think, ready for me, hear me out.
Go ahead.
They're gonna put the Game of Thrones throne right behind home plate, so everyone else behind you won't be able to see a damn thing.
No. Well, first of all, if they're going to do something...
I know Syndergaard's going on Game
Well,
of
this is
Thrones.
the
You hear
thing.
about that?
Is he? Yeah.
He's
He's going to be an extra.
Here's the thing. Syndergaard is a big Game of Thrones type of dude, and this has been. I read this article. I don't know if you guys heard about this before. I just read it to you, but this is just a part of MLB's plan to try and reach out to a younger audience. I mean, it's not as popular with the younger people.
I'll give you a little tip, I guess, what they're probably going to do. They're probably going to wind up doing, like, how they have those funny demo reels on the big screen, the Jumbotron. They're going to have Thor, obviously, in it. They're going to have DeGrom in it. The guys with the big, long hair. You're going to have merchandise like Harvey with the Dark Knight, with the Batman stuff. You're going to have Game of Thrones stuff
I think with
them.
the Mets, it's easy.
We can market anybody. We can market anybody.
The Mets, New York, it's easy, but
Got so
especially
many
with the Mets, you
personalities.
got like Syndergaard, who's a big Game of Thrones guy. You got a few other guys they market really well, and it's interesting because you always see that. What is it on May 4th? They do Star Wars Day.
Yeah.
So it's sort of funny to see all the people there. So apparently
That too.
This will be different. This will apparently be different. We'll see how that.
We're very marketable people.
We're
I think.
marketable
They are,
people.
definitely.
I mean, not the Nationals. But
It all
the Mets
starts with
are.
Syndergaard.
The only thing they have is sponsorship by Walgreens.
Yeah, literally. I mean, Syndergaard, though, and it's great to see him. So, before we move on to our final thing, you guys, anything else on that? I know it's not the most juicy thing.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think baseball has that big of a problem.
I don't-
with kids
It's
our
funny
age.
because that might actually be the tie-in, because it's like, we were talking about baseball where they're going to tie in some other places. Game of Thrones might be the makeup for the commercial breaks. You know what I
what's
mean?
funny? You know what's really funny? That this, again, I always mention this school, and this school is, it's in Long Island and stuff. I know Long Island's a big sport. A lot of people like sports in Long Island. It's not like some random place, but I mean, a lot of diehard fans here. A lot of diehard fans
Sure.
In hockey.
A lot of hockey fans.
A lot of
Yeah.
hockey fans, but a lot of baseball fans too. I stopped by the game room, like this place on campus. They got a bunch of Xboxes and stuff. My roommate goes there all the time, and there's a bunch of sports fans in there. So I mean, college kids seem to like it. Seem to like hockey. They seem to like. I mean, they like all sports.
Any Met game I go to, I always
Yeah.
see kids my age.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a problem.
What I've always noticed too is the Mets. They've always been this family oriented. You know what I mean? It was always.
You're right. Yeah.
It was always
bring
very,
the kiddies, bring your wife.
Yeah, it was
right?
always very. Yep, absolutely.
guaranteed to have the time of your life.
Yeah, it was it's a working class community, family.
That's what it
It's a
is, yeah.
family, which is one big working class family, and I believe that plays a big role in obviously the generations of coming in from longer generations and stuff. So because you have your parents coming in saying, "My parents brought me when I was a child," and now it's just coming back to us.
And you'll
then
do that with your kids, and
Absolutely.
I'll do
Yeah,
it with my
that's
kids,
what
and it'll pass
That's what I'm
on.
gonna
You
do.
know,
If my kids aren't a Met fan, if they're going to turn around and do something ridiculous like, "Oh, I don't." Yeah,
Yankees fan.
I'm a Nationals fan. I'm
Oh
sorry.
my
Do I know
gosh.
you?
I don't think I've ever
Simple.
met a Nationals fan.
No.
So
We discussed that. Yeah, the 2 shows ago. They're all-
Here's
they're all
our
tourists.
guest of the year.
Here he
Everyone
is.
rolling in.
Hey, what's going on,
Where
bro?
were
How are
you
you?
last week, though?
I was sick.
Oh yeah, I forgot you were sick. Yeah.
I don't think so.
You know,
Just
we gotta
walked
get
inside,
him.
just
No,
walked
we
in,
gotta
everyone.
get him
Yeah.
coming in. He's gonna be vomiting all over the floor. But that's no excuse. You were sick. You know, but listen, dude, so much has happened. I mean, since you were here, like, it seems like the world has happened. So get your mic ready.
Hey, that's
And
why, you know.
we're still in our opening segment, but we're about to transition though to our last part of this segment before we get into all the big juicy stuff. Did you hear the rumors about Derek Jeter and the Marlins? Because the Marlins are selling.
Wait,
Yeah,
what?
wait,
You
what?
didn't hear about this, right? The Marlins are selling. Derek Jeter wants to buy a team, and he recently got an exclusive tour of Miami Marlins Park. He lives in Tampa. He seems like the front runner to buy that team.
Tampa's on the
No,
opposite
he doesn't
side.
have,
I know,
really
but
have
that's-
enough money to buy it in. He'll be like the smallest minority owner of the team.
No, but no,
Jeffrey
no.
Lurie is selling it for like $2.7 billion.
It's nothing for Jeets.
Yeah, for Jeets,
He's
you know what?
got it.
Jeets, he slept with that back in the 90s. Don't worry. Like,
I'm just saying, you know, how cool would it be if, like, I know it's like stupid, but it's like, and it's like the other side of town, but it's like,
no,
man,
he's going to be selling it to Trump's like son-in-law's brother or something.
we'll
like that,
see,
yeah.
but I think it would be
Miami
cool
Whigs.
having.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. I'm just like, oh god, there's gonna be an investigation, FBI leaks going on right now. Miami Marlins do not stink. It's sad.
It's
sad
sad
at
that
this
Tampa
point.
Bay
I personally think
Yeah,
it would
right.
be so cool if
Just
Jeter
run by
owned a
Oompa
team,
Loompas,
though.
it'll be perfect.
I think it would be cool if Jeter owned a team, though. I
Oh,
just
yeah,
think
he'd
that
be
would
a
be
great
It
sick.
would
owner.
be interesting.
It
It
would
would
be
be something
cool.
to
If
watch.
there's any person from baseball who's like the coolest dude who just deserves everything, it's Jeter.
It's so
I mean,
weird
the guy's
because-
just racked up. Like, have you seen his list of the girls he's been with?
No, but he's
Not only that,
retired.
he's got class.
Make
He
a whole lineup out
retired,
of it.
though.
Dude, you can make a lineup. You can start the bottom like you got World Series right there.
You know
with
what's
this
weird,
lineup.
though? He retired, and it seems
His
like
on
he's
base
just,
percentage, nice.
he's been so away from the game.
Must have led the
though.
league in total
You know?
bases.
Oh, dude, absolutely. I gotta say, this guy's reached more bases in all-time history of any player.
But what I'm saying is, Jeter's like he retired, and he's just been away from the game for so long. It's sort of weird, right? I mean, it's sort of really. It's like he's not like other players that like to comment. He seems very distant from like the whole baseball thing. Like he retired in 2014, and that was really it.
Well, he's
I mean,
always
he
been-
hasn't-
yeah, he's
has
always
he
been
been
quiet.
back to Yankee Stadium? I mean,
I don't think so.
I
Well, he
have
will
this-
be.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, he will be. But they keep asking A-Rod, which is interesting, to come in to do like some instructional hitting or something like
But
that to
it's
talk
just
to the players.
it's just
Right.
so
you never hear a
weird.
peep out of Jeter. Like with
Well,
that.
I mean,
Yeah.
Jeter, what does he do? The Players Tribune thing now.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
his
yeah, I
big
forgot
thing.
about
it's
that.
like
Yeah,
this
the newspaper
thing
where it's
for-
that players,
It's
like,
a
write-
newspaper by the players. It's supposed to be just written by player articles, former players, current players. That sort of seems to be his deal, and that's great. So maybe this is his way. He wants to sort of come
Yeah, look,
back.
Jeter's always been very like low key. You know what I mean? Ever since like see interviews and whatnot like that. So he's always been very out of the spotlight. But his motto is always more actions speak louder than words, and you can see that in his playing, in his games, in his interviews later on. But so for me, seeing Jeter maybe turning a new leaf here and going for the Marlins. That's something that would be super, super interesting.
Yeah,
you
I
know,
mean, you know
something
what's
that
weird? A lot of Marlins fans are actually like not fans, but a lot of people in Florida are just huge Yankee fans and Mets fans.
Yeah,
It's
well,
so-
Yeah,
we discussed the
Snowbirds.
Snowbirds. We
Yeah.
discussed that
Yeah.
last time. Yeah,
Like it's just so weird. It's like then Jeter just goes up and buys a Miami team. It just seems like it
He
just
should
makes
definitely
sense.
take
It
the
makes
Twins.
sense.
Take the
then
Twins.
and
yeah,
then
right? It's just like just making a minor league
just
affiliate. of
take
us.
the Twins.
yeah, honestly, it's so weird. And then you have then you have Jeffrey Loria copying the Yankees with their no shave policy. Like that whole team. Like when I think of like Miami and stuff, I think of like New York baseball for some reason. It's like again, where New Yorkers come to live when they don't want to live in New York. It's
Well, no,
like
it makes sense. Donnie Baseball's over there.
Yeah.
Their whole entire structure is built around the idea of what the Yankees have done.
yeah.
And it's like I feel like they just like look the Steinbergs like we could be like that.
Yeah, we could be
Yeah.
like that, and then they're just not the franchise itself is
Trash.
just not near.
Top to
and it's
bottom
sort of
trash.
unfortunate because again we talked about this a little bit earlier before the show. Like they have Yelich, they have Ozuna, they have all these guys that seem really good. They're just their pitching is just terrible. Just like the Yankees, their pitching is pretty bad. So. Which is going to keep them from contending, but no skin off my back. They're in my division. I don't want
Yeah.
them doing well. But yeah, I mean that's basically all the general stuff that we have.
Well, did you talk about World Baseball Classic starting up?
Oh, we didn't
Team
talk
Israel.
about
The
that.
Team Israel,
Well, first
baby.
of all, did you-
Ty Kelly.
Let's go, Kelly.
Ty Kelly.
Let's do
Ty
it.
Kelly's
Wait,
doing it.
here we go.
baby.
Did you see Ty Kelly though? It's so weird.
Do I
He
wanna see him?
tweeted.
Yeah, dude.
No. But he tweeted that this was
Right
the
after
most,
the game.
This was the most he was like, this is the most important game or the most stressful game I've ever been a part of. It was one
How
of
about
those
the
two
wild card
words.
game?
And then
Yeah,
it's
right.
like he was in the wild card game. So what do you think about that, Ty Kelly? I mean, did he get a hit in that?
He
game?
did. He's back. He has 1,000 postseason batting average.
So he got a hit in the wild card game, yet that was the
Wow,
most
that's
important
a
game.
great
Let's give it up. Let's give it up.
Yeah,
right
give it
now.
up
Let's
for
give it
Ty.
up.
Good job, buddy.
I got to give him a shout out now.
I mean, that's, again, like, I didn't really watch it because, like, again, here's the thing, dude. It's just not the World Series.
Oh,
like,
you mean the World Baseball Classic? I
I
mean, it
didn't
was
even
at
watch
4:30 this morning.
First of all, I didn't
I
watch
hope
it.
you didn't watch it.
I didn't watch it, but I will say this, though. When you got people like Ty Kelly making a big deal in the World Baseball Classic, it doesn't seem that competitive. I got to say it. It seems like a joke.
Well, you mean
Team
it's like-
Israel should be ashamed of themselves that there were now Ty
I was
Kelly in
talking
their
to a
crowd.
kid in class later. We were talking about Family Guy, the episode where Stewie with the soccer, where they go to the
Yeah.
Jewish school. All he had to do was kick the ball to become like the Hall of Famer, and I feel like that's Ty Kelly for Team Israel.
Yeah, and they've also got who
just
came
gotta
out
hit it.
like, oh my god, I'm trying to figure
Did
out.
Ike Davis get a hit?
Ike Davis, I think, did get a hit actually today. I mean, it's interesting though. They played
Rejects.
Korea though. They played South Korea, who actually was, I think, runner up in the last World Baseball Classic, and then the one before that they were third. This is Team Israel's like debut, so for them it was kind of like a Cinderella story, which is like funny and nice. At the same time.
I heard that this is what I heard. I heard that either one of the teams again, Ty Kelly is competitive, so I can't take it seriously. But I heard that like one of the teams, like it was a shutout, but one of the teams missed out on so many opportunities. I can't tell you which one because again, when Ty Kelly is your like star player right there, I can't do it.
Well, they
It's
also
a
got
joke.
Scott Feldman. You remember him at all?
It's just
Remember
like-
Scott Feldman? Played with the Rays for a
Yeah,
little bit.
exactly. Scott
Yeah.
Feldman wasn't too bad, and then he went to the Astros for a tiny bit. Yeah, besides that, you're really looking at no one.
Yeah,
Jason Marquis, I think, and like if you guys remember him, he's trying to make a comeback. He last
Yeah.
pitched 2 years ago.
It's just-
but I mean, the
it's
World
bad.
Baseball Classic, like for Ty Kelly to get amped for that, it's like Melo saying, like, you know what, like an Olympic gold medal is more so than a national championship.
No,
It's
Ty
like,
Kelly is a joke,
No.
and Ty Kelly is a joke, and he'll always be a joke. And Ty, it's nothing against you, but it's against you. Okay? Like, it's
Ty-
just,
It's
Ty
not
Kelly.
us. It's not us.
he's
It's
a
you.
quadruple A player. He's
Yeah.
just like all the other quadruple
Didn't that guy
A
hit like
players.
390 in the PCL league? I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
he hit like
actually, yeah,
390.
he did like somewhere
Again,
in the high
again,
threes where everyone's
I
like
think-
prodigy.
I believe that Kirk Neuenhuis was the batting champ one time, and you know what? Kirk Neuenhuis stinks.
Captain
okay?
Kirk, enjoy the Brewers.
Yeah, and I think he had a great season, and I'm happy for him. But again, quadruple A player. It's just what he is. And the Brewers, they're nothing. They're going nowhere. Okay, I don't need to look at their
That's a
depth
dirt.
to
That's
know
a
that-
dirt franchise. You're right.
They're come on. It's a joke. That I feel bad for all the Brewers fans. You know what? Brewers fans should be flew out for free to see the World Baseball Classic just because they're Brewers
Compensated.
fans. Like
The MLB makes their money
come on,
elsewhere.
when was
That's where the
last
tickets are
time
going.
They were good. I can't even remember.
When
like
Bud Selig
recently.
was in
Wait a
charge of the
minute.
league, like-
Wait a minute. Weren't they good in like 2014 for like 5 minutes? Or am I
For, like,
going
5
crazy?
minutes.
I think
Yeah, there was good, like,
you were right. There was
5-minute period.
there was a good streak going, and then
Like,
it just
They're
ended.
not relevant to me.
No, the
They're
last
just-
time they were good is when they had like, let's see, Fielder back in the day, CC
By the
Sabathia on
way,
the same
this is
team.
That's when they looked in the mirror and they were like,
perfect,
"We're
but
Brewers."
We gotta go to break. we got to go to break, and then we're gonna get into the real news because Ty Kelly is a joke. Anyway, we'll speak to you after the break.
Still lamenting the day you got rid of that friendly flip phone? Join the 21st century with an easy introduction to the iPhone. Learn to master the settings, access the internet, and more. It's on Wednesday, March 8th at 7 p.m. in the Plainview Old Bethpage Public Library. For more info, call 516-938-0077 or visit poblib.org. The Community Calendar is a public service from your friends at 88.1 FM and WCWP.org.
Your top 40 favorites and the latest hits before you can hear them anywhere else. Total Access, weekdays at 4.
If you belong to a nonprofit organization, this space could be yours. Your friends at WCWP are here to help you spread the word about an upcoming event or the mission of your organization. Reach the local community right here on the North Shore of Nassau and an online audience all over the world. Email us at info@wcwp.org or send your info to 720 Northern Boulevard, Brookville, New York 11548. A message from your friends at 88.1 FM and WCWP.org. You're listening to Ace at the Plate.
The video.
All right, guys. So listen, we got to talk about this. First of all, this is going to be a Jay Bruce thing, and I know. Listen, it's nothing against Jay Bruce, but Conforto is raking. Okay, Conforto is destroying, and I think that at this rate, he's got to be the right fielder. I think he's got to be the right fielder at this rate. Have you seen his at-bats in spring training? They're looking sharp. And did you see that article about Jay Bruce saying, "Oh, I'm so glad to be a Met"? It was sort of awkward.
Happy, willing, and able. I think it was SNY
Yeah,
posted that, and I said, "Get out of here."
Yeah, and, listen, this is his quote from that article. For me, it rubbed me the wrong way. It just seemed very inauthentic. And this was it. The whole time, I just assumed I was going to be traded, said Bruce. I honestly, the way everything went down, I did not think I would be back. Not to sound like a jerk, but I knew I was going to be the opening day right fielder somewhere. So, listen, I don't know. It's just it's just to me, with the way Conforto's swing in the bat, and guess who agrees with me? Ron Darling agrees with me. And I'm going to bring up this thing. This Gary Apple guy.
Ronnie?
Yeah, and this Gary Apple guy on SNY, what a joke! All right, you gotta listen to this guy. This guy is a joke. Okay, going nowhere. Honestly, he's a joke without the
Been with SNY
punchline.
for like 10 years.
I don't.
No. Read the article. Read the article.
Read the article.
All I remember is
No,
Gary Apple.
listen.
I remember him before Gary Cohen.
Listen to this.
We gotta pull this up. Here
Read
we
the
go.
article.
So I'm gonna read the whole thing. Okay, when Ron Darling countered that there was no way Conforto would be starting if he continues to play and hit the way he has been, Apple started to put him on the spot. Cespedes in left field, Granderson in center, and Jay Bruce going in right field. Apple said, "Where exactly is Conforto going to play?" Without disparaging Bruce, Darling responded that Michael Conforto was the first-round pick, an integral part of the organization's future. It's very important to get a player like Conforto out there when he's hitting the ball with such authority and is a part of the future. This is an opportunity to really get him established at the big league level. Apple then pressed Darling and asked him a rather pointed question. Even if Conforto continues to hit this good throughout spring training, would you expect the Mets to start him over an all-star from last year who hit 30 home runs and close to 100 RBIs? Darling did not mince words. If I already wasn't making myself clear, absolutely. And absolutely is right. You got to see these kids at bats. I'm sick of Terry Collins freaking sitting my boy down. I get it. Last year, a little bit of a slump. I get it. Okay, it was bad. But I'll tell you this. Conforto's looking really good, and if he's not starting in right field, it's time to develop this kid now or never. I'm feeling bad for him because when you're not Terry's guy, you're on the bench, and it's sort of annoying because the way Conforto seems to be making a real comeback this spring.
He's having a great spring, and I think not trading Granderson or Bruce is really coming back to bite them. I mean, it's just tricky because Jay Bruce is a 30 home run guy. He's been a 30 home run guy for 6 years, so you're not going to bench him. Curtis Granderson has had, he had a bad 2014, but 2015 and 2016 he was great. So you just locked up Cespedes, and he's not going anywhere. So
of course,
it's a tricky situation, and Conforto's just getting the short end of the stick. But you're right. I think he should be starting, and
I think it's important for him to start.
It's just tricky. There's really no spot for him. As sad as that sounds.
There's no answer, but I'm just saying that you might honestly want to just start playing him in center field. You might want to give him the first.
How about first base?
First base. That's
Yeah,
exactly
I
what
was-
I'm thinking.
I was
No,
just
but
thinking
here's the
first
problem.
base.
Here's the
Platoon
problem.
Duda.
I agree
Duda.
with the first base because then you could put Bruce in at first, and then you put Conforto on right. But here's the problem: Dude is healthy, and Dude is raking. Okay, and listen.
Rankings is strong.
No, but here's the thing.
That's-
But here's
yeah, I
the
would
thing.
use that
But
real
here's the
loose.
thing. To Terry, I want Bruce to start at first base. Don't get me wrong, but he's just not. Terry Collins is just not going to sit Duda. Here's the problem. with Collins.
Terry's always been known to do things
The
out of the
veteran.
unorthodox. Yeah.
No, but here's the thing. Terry Collins never, ever, ever sits the veteran for anyone, no matter who he is, and it's really annoying.
Tenure. He's got a tenure on the players.
Yeah, and I get it, tenure and stuff. But Conforto I would rather have Conforto and Bruce playing than Duda and Bruce. I'm sorry.
absolutely.
It's the better
I was
team. Go
listening
ahead.
to Benigno and Roberts this morning, so I don't want to
So was I.
plagiarize or anything.
So was
but,
I. Go ahead.
But no, that I don't want to steal them.
From our sponsors.
Yeah.
But they were they're just saying that Duda has proven that he can hit 30 home runs a year, and that's why he's playing. He's incredibly streaky.
Here's the thing. Again,
still.
so is would you rather have Bruce playing or Duda playing? That's like the one thing because I
don't
think
know.
Conforto's
That's
too
like
good.
saying, would you rather trade you know what for you know what?
And then it's like here's the thing:
pretty
Bruce
even.
and Duda are like the same player.
Well, Bruce is better. I mean, he's shown at least that he's gotten
Yeah,
like over the past
I
few years.
I personally think Bruce is better, and I think Bruce is going to be healthier.
I'm gonna agree with you on that because Duda has always been inconsistent with the injuries. The world was out for him when they're like, "Oh, we think you have a tweak in your shoulder," and he's like, "No, I'm fine." So you got to weigh out obviously who's going to fill the gaps at the end of the year and who's going to be in this for the longevity, and to be quite frankly, who's in this to win it. You know what I mean? Who's honestly in this to be healthy enough to say, "I want to pull my weight on my end of the team." Who can you say honestly is doing that?
Doug, can you? I don't know if you could, but if you could pull up Conforto's numbers, they're like
you
really
mean
good
for the spring right now.
Yeah,
for the spring right now, I know he's got a 409 average, 435 on base percentage, and the slugging 727.
He looks good.
See, I've seen his at bats, and he does look good.
He
the
does
kid's
look
in good
good.
form.
It would be a detriment to start this kid in AAA, in my opinion. I think he
glad,
could be useful.
I'm glad
on
they
the
made
club.
him go down to fixing it. In a way, I know it's bittersweet to say, but I'm glad that they sent him down to fix himself and bring him back up.
I'm glad, but I'm saying to start the year, I don't think he needs AAA. I think he needs to be on the club.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
There's
For whatever it's worth, this kid Philip Evans is raking.
Yeah, whatever.
Third baseman.
I know he's a third baseman, but Jose Reyes has got to play every day. And by the way, and we're going to talk about David Wright, but it's as sad as it is because I love David. Right now, I mean, Jose Reyes.
It's time to find a nice nursing home.
And even me, I'm an optimist. I was defending David, but his body can't do it. His body can't do it.
I hate to say it, but he's
done.
I think it's time to look at your options.
And we have the story. You want me to pull up the story on David Wright? I mean, he's got a shoulder impingement, which isn't a big deal, but for David Wright,
it's a huge deal.
It's such a shame. He's only 34 too. He's an old 34.
If you have a shoulder impingement, you can't throw from third base. That's his flaw right now.
This is where not
that's the
having
thing.
DH.
And then here's the thing:
Have him
players
play
going,
first, then.
well, are you going to move him to
weird.
first? You already have a log jam at first base because again, you want to try. I mean, you got to try and get Conforto in there.
You see, this is where not having the DH bites us in the
Yeah,
because
that's
not only are you
great,
screwing
yeah.
David Wright, you're screwing Michael Conforto, you're screwing possibly Jay Bruce, possibly Lucas Duda.
And listen,
It's
Jay Bruce is going to be playing for a contract, right? Jay Bruce is going to be playing for a contract. Duda's just
He's
Duda.
a free agent after
Yeah,
this
he's
year.
playing for a contract too.
I
but
mean,
he's
good
at a
luck.
much cheaper.
I mean, you're not going to be back here, Duda. Hate to spoil it.
Yeah, we got
bye
I
bye.
hope he comes back just to get you upset.
Yeah, right. He
Bye.
just has to spite Ace.
No,
He just comes back and
no.
Well,
It's
dude,
going
Let's
to
listen
he can't
to Ace
throw-
the
he-
plate this one day.
I mean,
I'm pretty sure Neil Walker was listening last year.
well,
he turned like
I
he
mean,
was
listen,
after starting and hearing
dude,
it.
like
Ace
Ty, you
ripped
missed
him.
it.
He
I
almost
ripped
broke
the
the
hell out of
mic.
him. I ripped him so hard.
And
like,
the next day, Walker just
the next,
started
it was crazy
killing
because
him.
the day after I ripped him, he never went cold. It was ridiculous.
He never looked
He
back.
never
He
looked back.
actually never looked
It's like
back.
graduation.
like literally, like he heard my broadcast and he literally just.
I
turned
mean,
it
but
on.
we discussed this before. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, Jose Reyes he lives down the block, right? So, I mean, I'm sure they get reception out
knows?
here. They get the,
He
you know,
gets some-
They,
he gets
they
some
have
really
got
good-
to.
he's getting
I mean,
this.
Jose Reyes in the leadoff is better than David Wright. You know, being in here and then having Jose not being in the
I
lineup
like what
sometimes.
you proposed with the lineup. Talk about the lineup for a
Well,
minute.
here's
You-
what
you,
I want.
You had Conforto.
This is
Talk
why I
about
want
that.
Conforto to play because this lineup, or at least part of it, is so good that the Nationals are going to literally just crap their pants because you have
FCC
Reyes
loves this.
lead off.
I'm sure they're not crapping their pants.
Listen,
They're pretty good
listen,
too, but-
listen,
ready, but they're
maybe. I mean, listen. Sports Illustrated has them under.
Yeah,
okay?
but talk about the lineup.
Well, listen, let me
go
tell
ahead,
you.
Go ahead.
Okay, you have Reyes starting. You have Cabrera. Them two, that 1-2 punch, right? Now that David's not here, you get that 1-2 punch. That was so great last year. And then you have Conforto protected by Cespedes. And then you could have maybe Duda or you could have Bruce, whoever's going to be there, if both. I'm just saying that I don't have the full
Where does
lineup.
that leave Granderson?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering
That
about Granny.
probably platoons him.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 years ago, he was one of the best leadoff players in the game.
He was.
But now,
Yeah.
we saw the 2016
Reyes,
it's
you
done.
gotta lead him.
You
Yeah, you gotta lead him.
can't-
If
there's no
anything,
choice.
you have Granderson come back in the lineups, and that way he can almost you have almost two leadoff guys. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
have him like in the 7th or 8th hole.
So
that
it's
when they
almost
have
like
it,
it's like a reset. You know what I mean? So that way it's like he still feels like he's a leadoff guy.
But
just
I
there's
like that.
RBI opportunities, which he showed. Well, last year he was horrible.
Which is
So
why
that's-
maybe-
That's-
I mean,
that's
maybe-
why Bruce is probably.
That's where it's like.
Again,
He
I-
might have batted under 100 with
Yeah, I
runners.
think it was
Yeah,
like I think it was
something.
.091.
He had 30 home runs and 59 RBIs.
But I
He
gotta
did that.
say this. I gotta
That's
say
the
gotta
most
try.
ridiculous stat you've ever heard of.
Remember though and by the way, we don't. I didn't even.
Home runs.
I didn't even put Walker in that equation. But again, the Reyes Carlos Cabrera 1-2 punch was really good. It was just something that they clicked. They were friends. Like, I think that's how they became friends. Like, they just started to.
And we spoke about this before
leech
too.
off
Like
each
everything
other.
that we're just talking about now is always like synced back. I feel like to another episode that we've done or another show that we've done. But we were talking about the chemistry and like what other team do you know is like that, inseparable with their other players. You know what I mean? So like that the chemistry works.
They've got it. They've always.
Well,
The Cubs do have very good.
By the
That's
way,
why they're so good.
by the
I mean,
way,
they're
again,
talented, but they're also they're all family. You know?
I love it. I love it because, again, Sports Illustrated, the one magazine that's legit right now, has them under.
Hashtag
So,
fake news.
Yeah, I was
Fake news.
Fake news. I'm just saying, but no, for real. I mean, like, they have the Mets over. They have the Mets over the Nationals, Sports Illustrated. But anyway, seriously.
It's a coin toss.
Yeah, that's
it
a
is.
flip right there. I mean, just because the question marks of health. I mean, the Mets basically just
And we
re-upped
got-
on whatever they had last year.
So we have that
Separate.
mess that we talked about, which is a huge mess. And then you have David Wright, who knows at this point. Is he gonna? I mean, where do you see him going? Honestly, do you honestly see him giving it a few months, trying to throw
he's
again?
not just going to quit. He's
I
not just
honestly
going to
see him-
retire.
I honestly see him if he's not gonna. He's not gonna step down that a fight. I also see him if he's not going to be a player. I could see him being a coach somewhere on the Mets
Hasn't
team.
this been like without a fight? He's played 75 games.
Keep
in
in
2
mind,
years.
he's under contract for 4 more years, and I think he's owed something. I don't know the number
but
exactly.
the
it's
insurance
a
on that,
lot.
if he doesn't play, I think if it's under 100 games. Or
Why do you
70
think the
games,
Mets have all
then
this
he
money?
gets contract, they get 75%.
75%.
The Mets have all this money. They have all this money
That's why
because
they've
he
been
never
spending now,
plays.
where it's like,
Because
huh.
he never plays. The Mets have all this money because he never actually plays. It's sort of funny.
By the way, I know this is kind of off, but
Go ahead.
they expressed interest in Brett Larry.
yeah, I know. It was
What
just
was-
such
what
a.
was that
Here's
about?
the thing: they expressed interest in Brett Laurie, who is he was a big prospect in the Blue Jays organization. I think
Something
he
like
was a
that.
part of that big trade for
Donaldson.
who, by the way, loser
Billy
A's
Beane.
GM Billy Beane.
Yeah.
What a loser that guy is. Honestly, who
What's he
didn't see
doing?
that deal a mile away? That looked like I when I saw that deal from day one. I go, wow.
that's
The Jays
ridiculous.
got in. Donaldson was looking good, and he
Lo
performed.
and behold, MVP. So,
Yeah, so I mean, like, and that's why one of the guys, like Billy Beane, he's one of the guys I don't like in baseball. Same thing with Rizzo, the Nationals GM. They just don't make sense to me. But,
Oh no, the Nationals GM keep doing what he's doing. He's deferring all of their payments. It's a huge.
dude, is that going to affect the luxury tax? I saw
No, it's
something
going to screw
about
them
that.
up in the future
Yeah.
whenever they want to do something.
Yeah.
Like, just look at us when we're still
No,
paying off our
remember
contracts
Bobby
from 2 decades
Bonilla.
ago.
But Bobby
We're still
Bonilla.
paying
That
that
one was
away.
rough.
What is it? Is it like
still
January
going.
1st? It's
January
like
1st is Bobby Bonilla Day, where it's like instead of New Year's Day.
Is January
Or,
1st?
no, it's somewhere in January.
somewhere
No,
in
it's in the
January.
middle of the
He set
year.
that up, right? His wife
It's in
or
July.
someone set that up for him.
Oh
He
no,
did.
you're right. Actually, it is in the summer. It's
and
during the summer.
then
Yeah,
there's
his wife
an
set it up, and he
annual
gets $2
article
million,
on Mets
like, each
blog.
year.
Is it Matthew Cerrone writes an annual article?
Happy Bonilla Day.
Bonilla Day, and he gets paid. And
How
listen,
how
I
long is this
think
going to
he's
go
smart.
to?
Like 2020 something.
I think 22.
Oh
I
my
think, or, like-
god.
So he's been getting. What is it? Just a million? It's
It's
$1
a
million.
million.
dollars.
I
It's
forget
a
if it's
small
million or
loan of
$2
$1 million.
I think it goes to
Yeah.
like
for like
inflation.
A small loan of
years.
$1 million.
for years. For like, I mean, hey, listen, all those deferred money people.
July 1st, by the way.
Oh, July 1st. Okay.
They're not stupid. Like those deferred money contracts are. I know that you want the money now and stuff, but it just sets you up for the future. For basically, like you get $1 million a
sounds
year.
like 401k
I mean, you could do
plan.
nothing.
Oh wow, it's 2035.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my
So
god.
he's set until then.
Wow.
This
You know
guy
what?
doesn't even have to do anything.
He's not even
for the
gonna
rest
live
of
till
it.
then.
Yeah.
Like his kids will be collecting checks from the Mets. That's
Oh
great.
my god.
Get me on the insurance plan.
So what do
I
you
would
do?
love it.
What do you do for a living? I just collect this.
I just
check
collect
and-
$1 million
I just
I
wait.
just
a
wait
year.
for July
That's
1st
why.
each year.
That's why
Get
it's not
paid in.
that stupid. It's not that stupid to do that type of stuff. I
For
know-
the players, but I'm
I-
saying for
who,
the team.
who,
Oh, for the
like
team
on the
stuff.
on the lawyer's perspective, who signed off on that? Who looked that over and said, "Yeah, this is good."
I think it was
Jeff
Steve Phillips,
Wilpon, I don't know.
I think it was Steve Phillips.
The Will
actually.
Ponzi's, the
Yeah.
coupons.
The
Red
coupons, like if
coupons.
we don't have to pay it now, we can pay in the future. Don't worry. then
And
it's like,
you know what? I
that's
heard,
gotta
and
be the
that and it
greatest
flopped,
thing.
right? He was terrible on the Mets,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
He was
Oh, yeah.
awful.
Here,
So
I'm just reading a short thing from ESPN.com. It says, not just this July 1st, but every July 1st through 2035. It's the day the Mets pay him $1,193,248.20.
You sacrifice not
20
taking
cents.
the
That's
money.
like winning a lottery.
No,
Like,
you
you know, it's
sacrifice.
That's like that's like $1,000 a week or whatever.
you sacrifice not taking all that money straight up and just being set for life. That's just what you did.
Yeah.
That's a smart investment.
That's
And he's
honestly
still
it's
making money at the time too.
that's insane. That's insanity.
yeah. Well, I mean, that's
why
the best.
Jeffrey Loria is getting out too.
Only
because
the
he's like,
Mets.
I gotta pay Giancarlo like
Well,
$325
it's expensive
million.
to be a baseball owner
That's
these
crazy,
days.
too.
It's,
Yeah,
it's
that's
so
crazy.
expensive. All these mega contracts. Did you hear I think it was. What the frick? I didn't ask for that. Anyway, it's insane to be an owner these days. I mean, think about it. You got guys. I think the pitching contracts alone. If I was an owner, I'd get out because like Syndergaard's gonna be making $1 billion
after just making $600,000 this year.
Yeah,
think about that.
and there was that story.
You can't find better value anyway.
Nope.
Like in anything.
I mean, that's just the process, though. He's going to get his payday, and it's going to be record-breaking. Just like it seems like every year there's a pitcher that – I mean, besides 2017, I don't think there was a pitcher that made a record amount. But I'm telling you, someone somewhere is going to make so much money if they're a pitcher, and they make it big. And by the way, speaking about pitchers, I think this is a perfect time to segue to Matt Harvey.
I was just thinking that.
And here we go with Matt Harvey because first of all, he came in, he had a good first inning.
Oh, perfect inning.
And then it flew apart. It collapsed.
After the first inning, I'm like, Harvey's back.
Yeah, that's exactly
he's
what I
back.
was thinking.
No,
I was
but here's the
We're
thing.
going back to the World
I
Series.
saw your tweet, but for real, the second inning it collapsed. And here's the interesting part. You know, he's on neck meds. He's on like stiff neck. He has like a stiff neck, and they were actually advising him not to pitch, but he just wanted to pitch. So they let him go out, and that's why. But that's why.
That's Harvey.
That's why the velocity is down. Apparently,
That's
Dan
the Harvey
Warren.
that cost us the World Series.
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, what do you guys think? Is this just a spring training thing, or is this going to be a big deal? Is this going to come in? If this lingers into the season, I want Gazelman staying.
I don't think we're going to see the same Harvey again.
I don't think so.
I
either.
think that's gone. I agree.
You think it's gone? You know who was talking about this morning? The sports pope, Mike Francesa. I listen to him every day. Yeah, he is the. He said this. He said this is the same. I'm going to paraphrase here, but this is what he said. I was playing some video games. I had him on in the background, and he's just mumbling. He's like, but that's just how he is. But. You know, but he was saying this. He was saying everything in Mets spring training seems to be going fine, except for the fact that he actually went. And he said that everyone in camp was saying, it's the old Harvey. He's back. He's back. He's back. And then he goes in there.
Right.
And then he goes in there.
Same old crap,
Yeah. And he goes in there and he's like, that's not the Matt Harvey I remember. And he's like, that's the only thing
It
concerning
is
me in the
one
camp.
spring training start.
It's
but
one
it's got to
start.
concern you a
first-
little bit.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. First of
It's
all,
got to concern you a little
notice
bit.
the ego has completely, it's gone.
Yeah.
And rightfully so.
He's
it's
got
gone.
no swagger
He used
anymore.
to have swagger because now he's not the guy. And I'm quite frankly, I don't think he'll ever be the guy with Noah Syndergaard.
He used to
going
have
in
New
like
York
that.
behind him.
You got
I don't know.
DeGrom ahead of him now. Where DeGrom comes back.
I mean, to be honest, Harvey is now. It's so funny because in 2013, you're like, this is going to be the guy for the future, the number one. The rest of these guys are coming up. That's great. But this guy seems like he's the best.
He's your
now
ace.
it's even in the organization, Mike Francesa was like, the guys I know in the organization, Harvey's not the guy. It's Syndergaard. Yeah. He's the guy. He not only is Syndergaard the guy, he's marketable as crap. We were talking about it earlier in the show about marketability.
He's going on the Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
really?
He's
on
going
Game
on.
of Thrones?
Yeah,
Yeah.
What's he
he's
gonna play? Like,
marketable.
Well, he's just going to be an extra. He's not going to say anything. But, yeah.
But he's.
I mean,
You're like, is that Noah
fitting, though.
Syndergaard? Like,
Yeah.
it's going to be like one of those
I can't wait
things.
to see
He's
that.
marketable. He's got the stuff. He seems to love NY. He's like just having the ball of it.
And he's naturally funny too, and like a
he's
good
funny.
kid.
Again, like here's the thing: like Matt Harvey, his personality, not to be
Very
you know,
dry.
a D, but
a
he's
little
sort
dry.
of a D bag. I mean, that's just sort of like what it's just. Listen, I always rooted for Harvey. Obviously, he's a Met, but. Man, he was arrogant, and he was just sort of like it was sort of unlikable. And now he comes back. He is not the guy. He is humble.
He's
Now
quiet.
I know he
Yeah,
wants
he's
to be,
real quiet.
but he wants to be the guy, which is good. I think that could be a motivator. But he's got a long way to go, and that didn't look promising.
I
now,
mean, yeah.
Dan Worthen was like, we've seen him have better velocity, because I heard the velocity was way down.
Wait, for who?
Harvey.
Harvey,
Yeah.
yeah. Like, think about this. In spring, first start of spring 2015, he was hitting 99 miles per hour. And then in his last start, he was in the low 90s, maybe touching 92.
Yeah.
So it's like one can say maybe he's just trying to ramp up and doesn't want to go out there 100%. But then we have Jake DeGrom like the day before.
Oh my
where it's just
God.
like
Going 99.
throwing
DeGrom's a
99. He's just like,
flamethrower.
wow, was I throwing that hard?
Or
He's like, I
or
thought I was throwing.
96
That was
maybe.
97, but he was like thinking like, oh wow, I thought I was throwing like
These are
92,
the guys.
93.
First of all, this
And
is
last
the
year, that's
guy.
all he threw.
By the way, guys, if the Mets need to, Mets.
I like DeGrom for
I
this
love
year.
DeGrom.
I
I wanted
think-
to lock him up right now on the
Yeah.
cheap, like
No,
say
but
like $130 million
I think.
over
Well,
like 7
here's the thing:
years.
locking people up.
Well,
I'm
I like
talking
him for this
about
year.
next year. If Syndergaard, if Syndergaard has a really good year this year, you got to lock Syndergaard up. He should be the number one. If the Mets could keep one pitcher, it's him.
But I've always been super iffy about locking up pitchers because the Tommy John surgery. Pitchers, they're the ones that get the wear and tear.
Syndergaard has-
Especially a guy like
Syndergaard hasn't-
who's never had anything yet.
Well, let's
That's the
let's
scariest part.
please
That's
not
why
jinx that.
August
you know what I mean? Like, let's
23rd
keep
was
that.
my
Had
old
bone
day.
spurs.
I'm trying to
But-
remember, actually. It was on Fangraphs where they said that, like, for some reason, they're doing research on Syndergaard, and they say that he has a 41% chance of tearing something as hell. Just
Well,
to,
let's
I'm
keep that
surprised
low.
it's not
just like, let's still keep
50%.
that low, but
But
still,
that-
DeGrom, they
that's
say
my-
that for
yeah.
the rest of his career, he's at like 5%.
But
because
that's
he's already had it.
my point is like pitchers and the longevity because they're the ones that wear and tear I think out of most players do. And if you want to spend all this money on them, then you might as well pay for their medical bills with that money. You know what I mean?
Well,
Because
here's the thing.
you don't know what's going to happen in 7 years. They could be great. They could turn out to be Harvey. We
Or
don't
they
know.
could be glass like
And
Steven
the
Matz.
sports pope was
Like,
talking about
just-
it. The sports pope was saying this year, like it's
Sports
always
pope.
it's always iffy. It's always iffy when you sign a pitcher to anything more than 3 years because is he going to pitch for the majority of those years? I mean, we already what happened to David Price? Didn't he have a scare? I
Yeah,
mean,
he had a scare with his
but I
elbow
think
where
he's
they thought it was
fine.
going to be like he went to see Dr. James Andrew for a second opinion. When you hear that, like I think it's 90% of the time it's Tommy John surgery.
but it wasn't. Right?
And for some reason, they actually they came out to like somehow you don't have a torn elbow.
That's sort of
So
funny.
take 7-10 days off, and he's just like, wow.
By the way, speaking about days off, we're going to talk about this after the break because we have like 22 seconds and I'm racing to get these commercials up. But I mean, like, for real, Cespedes with the quad we're going to talk about because he was actually pulled from the game, from the same quad. Now, I know it's just, it's spring training and whatever, but we got to talk about it. We're going to talk to you guys after the break, so stay tuned.
The leaves are brown, and the sky is a hazy shade of winter. So why not bring the kids or grandkids to Circle Time? Songs and stories for children 6 months to 4 years old on Fridays at 10:30 in the Westbury Memorial Public Library. For more info, call 516-333-0176 or visit westburylibrary.org. The community calendar is a public service from your friends at 88.1 FM and WCWP.org.
You can promote your club or event on air. Email us at info@wcwp.org.
Healthcare is a right, not a privilege. See if you qualify for family low-cost health insurance, Child Health Plus, or Medicaid managed care. Just go to the Westbury Memorial Public Library on any Tuesday at 2 p.m. For more info, call 516-644-9031 or visit westburylibrary.org. The Community Calendar is a public service from your friends at 88.1 FM and WCWP.org.
You're listening to Ace at the Plate on WCWPSports.org.
So you guys were talking about Cespedes, and it's just like you guys think it's just a working out thing because again, this whole thing he was strengthening it so this doesn't happen. But then again, I'm telling you, he missed a lot of time. Not a lot, but what did he miss? Like 2 or 3 weeks with a quad. He had to go down to
missed
St.
like
Lucie.
20-30 games.
You know what it was?
That was a
But it's
huge,
on
that
and
was a
off.
huge blow to the Mets.
Yeah, it was.
Well, because they
line.
kept him on the field the whole entire time, and he was like, everyone could see that he was still hurting and struggling, and so it's like, why don't you just sit him for a while? And so then lingered for about like 50 to 60 games. Where he was
partially-
just
Remember
partially
when he
too, I
played
blame it,
center field? Now that's out of the question.
That's what I was just going to say that. I'm
Yeah.
like, partially I throw half the blame on Terry because Terry being, Mr. Unorthodox as he does, he'll turn around and he'll take basically any player and put them in any position, and the next thing you know, they're not familiar with it, they're hurt, whatever it might be, and I think that's wrong. So I'm honestly hoping they just keep him in left field.
I think Terry did that center field thing because Cespedes said he was a center field in Cuba, and I hear he likes the position, but he can't play the position.
Just keep him
First
where
of
he's
all, his
natural.
WAR wasn't good in that position. He was not a good center fielder. He's just best when he's a left fielder. It's just that's just how it is.
By the way, I got a little bit of news. Anthony DeCuomo.
I'm blocked on Twitter.
Of what is he? Newsday, Daily News. What is he?
I don't know.
But
blocked
he's a
me on
beat
Twitter.
writer, and he said there's a flu bug going around the Mets clubhouse. Syndergaard, Darno, and Duda all feeling ill. So there's
Oh, that's great.
Well,
Dude,
Duda
a
could stay
typical,
on.
a likely
Duda could
story.
stay
Anything that comes to a dude, it's just like, oh, wait, I've got it, coach. Don't worry.
Because I'm just saying.
my eye, I can't hear,
Yeah.
coach.
I'm just saying, Cespedes missing those 30 games. Those could have been more wins. Okay, I'm just saying. So this is important, especially with a year like this with expectations. I'm not saying panic yet. I'm just saying keep that in mind.
Just get that button
that
ready in case we
this
gotta hit it.
quad has been a thing for about a year and a half.
We just
now.
need to get
But
rid of Ray Ramirez, and this team will go to the World Series.
And-
Like, I promise you that.
The Ray method.
The Ray method.
the Ray method. And then we got to talk about this. First of all, Tim Tebow is starting Wednesday with the big league.
I'm
camp.
excited for that.
Who's ready?
I want to
You
see
think he's
that.
going to get hit?
I think he actually is. Oh my
he's gonna
God.
go 4
Actually,
for 4?
The projecting lines are so
way.
horrible. It's like over under 2.5 strikeouts, and like all the betting lines are saying that he's going to
He's
get over.
striking
I'll
out.
tell
No,
you,
come on, guys. He's
going
to go 4 for 4.
He
I mean,
might-
have you
he
seen
might-
his swing?
He might hit a couple of fouls, but
He's not doing
no?
anything. Yeah.
No,
I
I'll
think
tell-
4
I'll
for
give him-
4.
I'll give
It's
him the
cheap.
fouls, and
You know
that's
what
all
he
I'll go
said
with
this
it. I'm not
week?
gonna
You
give
guys
him
heard
any
what
more.
he said, right? He wants to adopt a kid from every continent.
He's
Did you hear
making
that?
Tebow's art.
All right,
That's what he's doing. He wants to collect every child to
you can
save
adopt Ty Kelly from Israel. Let's start there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm serious. No, he seriously said that. I mean, this guy is some sort of holy legend, I hear. So maybe he'll go 4 for 4.
He's a 29-year-old virgin.
Someone was
He's
having
the covenant.
wait, someone was having a seizure in his first spring training game, and he touched it, and he touched his forehead, and the guy stopped having a seizure. I mean,
We're going to have a hell of a great season.
Dude, I'm about to say, if we get Tebow up there just in the bench so we can get in the good graces of God,
I
that
can
is
see,
worth a
I can
spot.
see him
Like-
walk up there with the bat boy, just touch the batter, and he gets a home run.
I mean, how old was Jesus when he became the whole entire Messiah thing? Like 29? I
just
think.
saying,
I mean,
right?
I'm putting the numbers together right here, guys.
I'm
I
just
mean,
Catholic
saying,
school,
Tebow-
skip 3 grades.
I wouldn't be shocked if he goes like 3 for 4 or something. I wouldn't be shocked. And by the way, who's pitching? Is it going to be some loser?
Rick Porcello.
I think it's
Oh!
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
it
a split
is.
squad.
Oh,
game,
wait
so
a
the Red
minute.
Sox is he's going into.
No way. He's not getting hit off Porcello.
No.
The guy
What
won
if
Cy
he
Young.
does? But what if he does? What if he goes like 3
Yeah,
for
but what
4
if he
off
doesn't?
Porcello?
Well, have you
You
seen,
know what?
Have you seen his swing though?
You
His
know
swing
what?
looks
It's
a lot
good.
better.
It looks
It's kind of mechanical. It's kind of like not fluid.
That's true.
But
Yeah,
you
it
know
looks
what?
like
He's
a
got some
robot.
good power. I mean, look, Rick Porcello. I think there's going to be more pressure on Porcello because you got the Cy Young winner,
Could you
and you got Tim
imagine?
Tebow just playing with house money, just
Yeah.
going up there.
Could
Whatever
you-
happens,
could you-
happens.
could you-
They're not expecting anything from
one
me
of
Like
the
a
anyway.
little league camp right there.
It's
He's like, all right,
hilarious
I'm
because
playing
he has-
this.
Porcello's going to be like, if I give up a hit
this
to this
minor
guy.
leaguer, literally Tim Tebow has one of the top selling jerseys on across MLB. Like,
He's a moneymaker.
well, you
He's
know
gonna
what that
make money.
shows?
You feel horrible
That
for
shows
Porcello.
the poor. That,
What?
you know what-
Porcello, I feel so bad for it.
You know what? You can't top James Shields.
But wait a
giving
minute.
up a home run to Bartolo.
Wait a minute though. I mean,
The
like,
inevitable has
that
happened.
just shows though. That just shows that Tim Tebow has that marketability, but that just shows how poorly the marketability for MLB players are. I mean, go up to anyone on the street and show them a picture of LeBron James. They're gonna know it's LeBron James. But then go ask them who Mike Trout is. They're not going to know who Mike Trout is. They won't know. So I
No,
just found
not
that
at all.
interesting. Like, Steph Curry, you go show them a picture. Who's that? They're going to say Steph
Well,
Curry.
even Matt Harvey did that segment, I think, where he was interviewing people
Yeah.
on the street. And it's like, what do you think of Matt
Who are
Harvey?
you?
And they're like,
Well, he
"What?"
was a rookie, but still.
Still,
Still.
it's just like in New York too.
People know who Kristaps Porzingis is if they were to see him. He's
Yeah.
only been around a year or two.
Yeah.
I think
So,
you
like,
think, but
if I saw
tell you
the
what,
Latvian
they're
unicorn, of
marketing this
course. Like,
Cubs
yeah.
team pretty good. Do you think they would know, like Chris Bryant? I mean, people in Chicago would know, but I mean, maybe some people maybe no.
Yeah, I mean, he was just the MVP, so it's like I would
actually,
hope so.
I've actually thought about that. Like, if Travis d'Arnaud walked the streets of New York, would
No
people
one
know?
knows.
Nobody
No
would
one
know
knows.
who he
I
is.
wouldn't
No
even
one would know
know.
who he
I'm
is.
still struggling,
I wouldn't know
actually,
who he
even,
is.
like, I see
And
his
by the
face,
way,
but
I'm the one. I texted all of you. I'm the one, the only one on this show who defended Travis d'Arnaud, going, I think it's smart. I think he's gonna have a good year, and he's having a hot spring.
It's spring.
It's spring.
But
no,
it's spring. Calm
catchers
down.
also
Spring
develop
hopes
later.
eternal,
He's
but-
turning. What is he, like 27 now?
I think
28?
D'Arnaud
I
is
think it's
27.
smart
Yeah,
sticking
27.
with
They usually
d'Arnaud.
develop a lot later with the
I
catchers,
think
like
it's
27,
smart.
28, 29 instead of the
I don't
earlier.
think it's the end of the
You don't
world.
see too many Salvador Perez's or Yadier Molina. I mean, these guys came up.
He
young
could have a good
and-
year.
Yeah.
He could have a
but-
good year.
Yeah, it does take it's more of a process for
I'm
catchers,
just saying. I'm just saying. I know it's spring training, but I'm
We'll
just
see.
saying.
Only time will tell on that one. We'll
Only
see.
time will
we'll
tell.
see.
But also another thing, and this is sort of like it's just sort of weird. But Tim Tebow, that's going to be fun. So I'm actually going to tune into that game. I don't
Yeah.
really like the spring
What
training.
time
like
is
I
that
said.
game on? Just for me
I
and the
don't-
viewers.
I don't
that
know.
might
I
Wednesday?
have to
They've been
look.
playing them at 1 o'clock.
1
so
o'clock.
I'm assuming it's 1. Yeah.
It
gotta be
sucks because I got class.
Yeah, every
like-
game I've been
We're
watching
all
so
1
far is 1
o'clock.
o'clock.
Yeah.
We're gonna be in class. Well, I know I am. So
No, I'm gonna screw class.
Hopefully they put it. Yeah.
on, a
got
co-
Tebow
on a
coming.
college
By the
radio,
way,
screw class.
When are Met games going to be able to be streamed on SNY? Because you can stream them now on your iPad.
But do you need a
Yeah,
cable?
SNY.
Do you need cable?
No, I didn't-
Because if you need cable, I mean, listen.
No,
I'm
you
gonna
can you can even go on the NBC Sports app, I think, and get. I just don't know when they're doing it. I think
Because
it's
here's the
I think
thing.
it's the regular season.
Here's the
they're starting.
thing, all right, and Joe knows, okay. I pirate everything, okay. I pirate my movies. I pirate
got
my
me doing
movies. I pirate my MLB games, okay. I do.
Wait,
There's
really?
a
You
way.
gotta give me some links.
You gotta go
Yes.
to Puffin.
You go to Puffin, this browser on
I'm
your.
like, what have you guys been huffing and puffing? What have we
Imagine
done?
someone shutting this down right now
Yeah.
as we speak
No,
because of this
because
broadcast.
This is LIU Post, but seriously, you go to MLB MLB, you go to strikeout.co or you go to what is it? Is it Stream to Watch? It's either
Stream
.co.
to Watch doesn't really work. I use the Strikeout.co.
Strikeout.co.
Dog, you gonna do it right now?
No,
Yeah,
no,
I'm
no,
like,
no,
I'm like,
no,
So for everyone
It's not
listening
going to be
at
on
home, Doug is on his
Puppets
computer
Mobile.
right now.
I'll
Go to
demonstrate right now.
strikeout.co right now.
I'll
Go to
demonstrate on my thing.
strikeout.co.
.co?
.co. Okay, you can watch any game.
Oh, wow.
That's how I
So,
watch all my games.
Doug is looking up. What does it look like right now? Let's.
I mean, like, okay,
There's
so
a lot of
you've got
ads.
basically just showing like because it's obviously in the Arizona League, Cactus League. I'm looking at it.
Click on
So
it.
let's check out the Yankees Pirates.
I think they just ended. So.
Oh, they did. All right, so let's check out.
All right, we're gonna get one
Any
headshot. Which
game.
one?
Let's go
Pick one.
Cubs.
All right, so Cubs.
162 games
Just-
a year. It's on. I'm serious.
All right,
It's on.
he's clicking a link. Let's see what goes on.
You got to activate a free account. Like, okay,
No,
like,
no,
I'm
no,
in
no, no,
stores.
There's a
Wait,
bunch of
hold on.
ads. There's a bunch of ads.
They're gonna rob me. What are you guys doing? My computer's blown up.
No. Believe me, I do this for 162 games for like 3 or 4 years now. Okay, like it works.
On whose computer?
On my computer.
Your
I do it all the
computer.
time. I do it on my tablet, my computer, my
And
phone.
this actually you
right
can
here.
God, this is some great free advertising right now.
I'm serious. They're
Holy
amazing.
Are you serious?
Yep, free games. I mean,
it's
it's not
actually
legal,
HD. I thought it
guys.
was gonna be like- For
Guys,
some
it's
reason.
not legal. Okay, but it works. Okay, so
What game
it
you guys
works.
watching over there?
I mean, yeah, it's like a little lag, but I'd still take that, man.
Hey.
Hey, you can
it-
If we
see
could,
the
if we could
splits and
bring
the
the
curves
TV
even
to
more.
our classes, because I know we're obviously in classes together, and if we have the opportunity, I'm gonna do that. That sounds like a
You
really
know what
good
I
idea.
do?
I
I've
did like
already
a-
been
yeah,
doing
like
that.
this.
I remember watching. I remember watching opening day. It was at like 1:10, I think, or maybe it was one of the first games against the Royals. The teacher's in class. She's looking at me. She goes, "Ace." I go, "Yeah, what's up?" And I alt tab immediately. I'm like, "Hide that." Yeah, what's going on? And she's just
This is groundbreaking. Could you imagine being a kid back then and like, oh, what's the score? I
Because
don't
Oh
know.
here's
no!
the
What they
problem.
would do is they would put like the radio in their ear and stuff like that, and put it down while in church. And now it's just like we've got our iPhones and
Yeah,
like we have our
forget it.
freaking eyeglasses that can shoot off like apps and stuff.
Yeah, could you imagine sitting
Watch it
there
on
watching
my
the
Yeah, yeah.
eye thing.
It's just like, oh yeah,
My
look at your
iWatch.
like freaking watch.
Because here's the thing, like I live here, right? I don't have a cable box.
Yeah.
I know I could go to Hillwood, but I don't want to go to Hillwood. I want to lay in my bed.
Yeah.
I want to watch the Mets. So I got to do what I got to do.
I remember watching March
gotta
Madness.
do what
And
I
now
gotta do.
you'll be able to stream them on SNY.
Yeah,
you don't have to pay anything.
now I'll be able to stream it on. And by the
So
way,
it's free completely.
Yeah,
SNY.
it's free.
Really?
Well, you can go to the NBC Sports app, and then they'll have the link there.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
This is cool. Like,
I
these are
love
new
the
ways. These are
future.
new ways.
because
These are
here's
new
the
ways of
thing.
marketing.
By the
the
way,
Mets.
This
I don't
is-
know,
people are
you
starting to
guys-
stream
you
more.
guys got a TV at home. I mean, most people do. I don't.
sure.
I like my dad does, but I mean, like in my room, like I don't even have a TV. I have like all the. Well, again, I pirate everything. But if I was a moral citizen, I would have my Netflix subscription, my Spotify subscription, my whatever subscription. And like I would be able to get all my shows from there. I know my friends, like a lot of my friends, they don't even watch TV. They just have their shows on Netflix. Like
Yeah,
they-
Netflix, Hulu, Amazon that they'll go to. Like, yeah, there's like girl
So
I've seen.
it's sorta
No
weird
TV.
because-
I was just like, I was in there. I'm like, where's your TV? Like,
Yeah,
this
no
is freaking
TV.
me out
Yeah,
here.
No
right.
TV. I'm one of those guys. No TV for me. I can't do the TV anymore. But the only thing, some people only have their TVs. I know them. They go, if it wasn't for the Mets or if it wasn't for this, I wouldn't have TV. Like even ESPN.
Yeah.
Like no one watches that.
Like that's
until,
like me. Like if I'm watching TV, it's specifically just whatever, like a Mets game or something like that.
Well,
I'm
always
Well,
watching
now it's
sports,
great though.
yeah.
because
Hockey
you can put on
game.
the MLB Network just in the background during the day.
I
when
like
there's games
MLB
going on.
Network.
I love it.
Yeah.
I've seen them talk in the round table, and sometimes I'll tune in.
I
Like,
love
I
MLB
have that.
Network.
on
I like
Clubhouse.
MLB
It's
Network.
beautiful.
I like that, but I'm just listening. I'm so excited for this year. By the way, and this is what Joe. If you were listening this morning to quiz you, I'm just saying like Joe Beningo or it was Evan Roberts. One of them was like, you have no reason not to be excited for this season. This season, if you're a Met fan, Joe Beningo said this morning, for what it's worth, this is the most excited he's been for a season since 1985. So I mean, get ready. And I'm serious. I mean, this is gonna be.
I'm turning like a goon over here because I'm just thinking, man.
I
like,
mean, there's obviously concerns with
You
like
just gotta stay
every
healthy,
club.
that's it.
There's-
that's it.
That's
it.
a concern. And then you have that, and
But we've got depth.
they got
finally.
backups.
They do, but you got to stay healthy. You
Gotta
know?
stay healthy.
And
I
we
mean,
have
Duda
Giselle
going,
Cespedes.
if Duda goes down, that's the only place where it's like, okay, that'll be fine.
If Duda
can't
goes
have-
down, it's like
You can't have Cespedes go down.
perfect.
But if
Duda's
Cespedes goes down,
Yeah.
then you get your wish, and Conforto goes to left.
Listen,
Yeah.
I want
That's-
Conforto to play.
Like,
Like,
it's
it's,
just like a
not that I
silver
hate.
lining.
It's not that I just despise. I mean, I don't like Lucas Duda as a player. It's always that low on base percentage swing. I never like those players. It's not like I wish ill on him. It's just that I want Conforto to play really badly because it's not like a pipe dream. I think he could contribute at the big league level now.
And he
I think
has.
could.
He
He has. Remember 2015? It's only and at the beginning of 2016, in front of Cespedes, on fire. You couldn't sit the guy down. And then again, Bumgarner, dude. If Bumgarner comes up next year, sit Conforto.
It's like PTSD
sit,
for like
sit Conforto.
For most Mets players, we can't hit off him. The guy's a monster.
You got to sit Conforto.
That guy owns the Mets.
Yeah, he single-handedly
He's
walks in there and goes,
He,
"I'm going to take."
Tehran, like, and Pat
Yeah,
the Bat,
Tehran,
if you wanna
too.
go back.
Yeah.
Like,
Pat Burrell.
yeah,
that guy?
the stories of Pat Burrell.
Cody
And
Ross.
by the way,
It's like,
honestly,
Cody Ross.
Cody Ross.
Can we
is
just
another
say? Can we just say? By the way, I'm just so excited for the Mets facing the Nationals. I think it's the 21st of April.
Mark
if
your
I'm not
calendars. It's
100%.
about to go down.
Mark your calendars because we're gonna be here. I don't know if I don't
I
know.
want to see Syndergaard plunk Harper. That'd be great.
Oh, first of
Oh
all,
my God.
Harper.
Oh my God, that'd
Well,
be a
but there's no
douche.
point because
Just
like
Harper
for the
Harper
Instagram.
can't hit the Mets.
For the Grams, baby, you gotta do
Harper
it.
can't hit the Mets. Like, notice every game Harper
Syndergaard's a
plays against the
savage.
Mets. Like, Harper can't hit the Mets. No one.
Yeah, you can meet me
hits-
60 feet, 6 inches.
He's a
if you wanna go up
savage.
here. I'm like, yeah.
He's
My-
nuts. You don't want to mess with that guy.
You don't want to mess with Noah Syndergaard for sure. I wouldn't want to mess. I mean, by the way, he's even stronger this year.
Yeah.
They
He
said
wants to
pounds
throw
of muscle.
faster. That's what he said. He's like, I'm going to throw harder and faster. Like,
rip
I
that
can.
arm. Rest in
And he's
peace.
just like, please,
Rest
please,
in
please,
peace.
no, please.
Like,
You're doing fine, man.
Yeah,
Like,
because you know what? There comes a point where Tommy John is a scary word. Okay, if you're a baseball fan and you hear Tommy John coming around and then your team in the same sentence, you know who I'm thinking? I'm thinking of Syndergaard and I'm crying. Okay, because that's
do you
really.
have a date this year? For
No, I don't.
potentially?
I don't want to even put a date because last year I had a date, August 23rd. I don't know why. I just guessed it. I was going, if that's going to be the day, something goes
I
down.
think it was not too long before that, though. He had some bone spurs.
Yeah, I was like close. I don't want to even put a date this year because that would be really unfortunate. I'm just saying.
I still can't get over how good he was. He was better than Bumgarner in the wild card game.
He was so much
Like,
better.
he had better stuff than Bumgarner.
No, like
was
Bumgarner
just-
couldn't even. I'm never gonna like let anyone live that up. Like when people, if anyone ever talks about that obscure game, because none of those teams
Connor
went.
Gillespie. It's,
I mean,
I knew he was hitting a home run. I knew he was
Of all
doing
people,
something.
why?
Gillespie?
Why?
Because
He-
listen to his name, Connor Gillespie. It sounds like a high school classmate
that's-
you went. Like, you remember Connor Gillespie in math
exactly.
class? You remember him? Like
The valedictorian, sure.
yeah, like just a totally obscure person I knew. Because before he hit the home run, I was at the game. Before he hit the home run, he hit like a sharp single to right. I'm
You're
like,
like that's it.
I'm like, this guy's gonna hit a home run.
You know what? You know
And
who
sure
would say the
enough.
same thing?
Damn.
You know who would do the
Dunk
same
off
thing
the
though?
freaking shed and bullpen. Like,
I bet you if Eric Campbell was on that team, he'd still hit the home run because Eric Campbell is the king of hard outs. He's like the
Yeah,
guy,
he is.
and then Terry Collins.
He is.
every time. Like I want to go back and like have every like post game Terry Collins thing when Eric Campbell's in it. He's hitting the ball hard.
I was at a
He's
Mets
hitting the
Giants
ball.
game like 2 years ago. Mets had like first and second with 2 outs. They were down by like a run or something, and Campbell just smoked one right at the center field.
glove. Right at the
See,
glove.
he didn't even have to move. He was just like right there. Just went right
It's
to the
hilarious.
guy.
And then again, this is why again, like Eric Campbell, Ty
Poor guy.
Kelly, they're like the same person to me. They're like
Yeah,
the same
definitely.
guy. And Ty Kelly has had more success, but he's just Ty Kelly. That's
He's
just
Ty
what he
Kelly.
is.
Yeah.
He's Ty
Me and my
Kelly.
dad call him the accountant. Looks like an accountant.
Dude, he's not going to make the team. I mean, wait. And by the way, now with David Wright out, you think T.J. Rivera, that's the guy who's
Yeah,
going to make the
it
team?
has to be.
I like
But now
to.
we have a
I
spot
love
open.
Rivera.
So now he could be a bench guy.
Yeah, I mean, like, dude, I guarantee he'll like turn out to be kind of like a Daniel Murphy type of player.
And if
where he's just,
somebody-
like, good, solid hitting,
Yeah.
maybe not the best defensively, but he can play different like positions.
Better
just
fielder
for a
maybe, yeah.
bit,
And
like
if
average,
somebody
you know?
else gets hurt, then maybe see if you can go get Brett Lowry.
I mean,
Why not?
It's
Why
so
not?
weird. It's so weird. I'm
See,
not,
that's
I'm not
actually-
against it. I'm not against it. I'm just saying Brett Lowry, man, he was like on top of the world.
He was top prospect, but then his knee started getting out on the AstroTurf.
Like,
think,
I don't
and
know.
brought
It was a few years ago.
Yeah, and
I
he's
would hear
still
this
young.
guy,
Yeah.
Brett
He's
Lowry.
26, 27?
26, 27.
I wouldn't. It would be stupid for a team not to take a shot on him. Whether it's Oakland, I'm hearing the Blue Jays are interested. The Mets are interested. I think that I personally have a theory that Sandy Alderson just says we're interested in every single guy.
Oh yeah, just
I-
so
I
everybody
just
like,
go-
starts like,
he's
oh, the
just-
Mets are on the prowl.
No.
It just makes everyone else like close their deals up. You know what I mean?
Whenever you hear that the Mets are interested, take it with a grain of salt because Sandy Alderson's like, yeah, no, I'm interested.
We were
Well,
interested in every single person this offseason, and
I
we
think
walked
we
away
were.
with the same players we had last
And by the
year.
way, that's not a bad
Which is
thing.
great.
No, it's
That's
not
a
bad.
thing.
They're
that
good.
team, how many games did we win last year?
87.
That's not a
87.
bad number, but I think we could do better.
With the injuries they had, that's a
Yeah,
great
and the,
number.
and the rotation that was completely decimated.
Yep.
Just remember that the Mets signed,
We,
and,
we
and
had Logan Verrett.
remember, you say this,
Yeah.
you say this, and you can't say this often, but the Mets signed the best free agent outfielder on the market during the
Join us with
offseason.
us.
And that's just still unbelievable to me. That is still unbelievable to me. And I know that there was a time where they used to spend money like crazy pre-Murdoch, but it's still very weird that the Mets signed the guy. Usually you hear the Mets going after guys like Diaz. Or you hear the Mets going after Diaz. Like you go like Diaz. Now that's a Mets player, someone who hasn't been good in a few years. He's aging, but he's on the cheap. That's a Mets guy. But no, the Mets changed their tune, and they knew that they had to. And
that's
by the
why
way,
this is the year.
And that's why this is the year, because I'm telling you right now, Syndergaard is going to be like
stay
$1 billion. Syndergaard might be like $600 million.
And don't sleep on DeGrom. Like, that's the thing.
Dude.
Syndergaard's just so electric that DeGrom is even as
DeGrom
good.
is like on the low.
And like you guys said earlier, like DeGrom, but I don't think Harvey's gonna. You're not gonna see the 2013
No,
Harvey.
that's
again.
Dude, that's why Harvey is so in with the Mets right now. He's like, you see him in his Mets gear. He's like, I'm not going to the Yankees anymore. I'm staying a
It's
Met.
like, don't you guys want me? Come on, please.
At this
please.
point, I'll sign up for like a 13-win season with like a 3.3.
Hey,
ERA
it's
or
good.
something like
You know
that.
what?
That's
it's
exactly
it's
right.
sort
You
of
know?
good, because I'll tell you what. You know what? He's just not he's not going to be one of those pitchers where you got to spend like $1 billion, because the Mets have like $1 billion rotation. They literally, if they were to sign these guys to mega deals, which, I mean, let's say they were on the free agent market, they would all be getting mega deals. So I mean, it's like $1 billion rotation. It's ridiculous, and it's just, I can't believe it. I can't believe it, guys. When we graduate from college, like, I really the money's going to be so inflated that we're going to be talking billions of dollars. I have a feeling like in like 2030, like it's going to be like $2 billion. Like, yeah, give him $2 billion. Like the money, you notice the money
it's gonna
is
make
so
Bryce Harper
outrageous.
not seem that ridiculous anymore.
The money is so
No,
outrageous.
the market
in
will
baseball.
correct itself, because people will start being like, wait a second, this is not worth it. Like, we're paying Zach Greinke like $30 million a year.
Like, the money it's absurd. It's gotten to a point where I can't believe it. That's why I wouldn't be an MLB owner even if I had the money. I don't even think it's a smart investment.
No, Jeffrey Loria bought the
It's a
Marlins
money
in
pit.
2002 or 2001. I forget when. 2002. He got it for like $175 million, and now it's worth $2.7 billion.
I'm just saying, like, it's just so much money to run these teams. It's
Oh
just
yeah, no,
like,
you need it year in and
these
year out. Constant
contracts.
revenue.
I think it's the contract. Again, the closer market, the $80 million on Chapman. I'm never gonna let that go.
Yeah,
is a
that's-
ripoff. It's.
Are you talking about his elbow ripping off? Or?
It could be his elbow by the time the deal's done. How long is it? How long is it?
8 years or something.
It's like 8 years for like this closer. I get it. He throws 105 miles per hour, but for how long is he going to throw 105? And how long
you
does
can't
he stay healthy?
Yeah, Bartolo used to throw 100. Look at him.
But anyway, we got about 50 seconds, but it's been like an amazing episode. I love it. I can't wait for could it just be April 4th, because it's just
Let's just push the spring season into March.
Let's just skip it. Let's
Call
just
it a
tell
day.
Shortest to just skip the project,
No,
and we'll just wait
The
till.
World Baseball Classic's pushing it back, but I'm excited to see how Team USA performs.
Yeah, I could really care less, to be honest.
I'm starting to care less because Ty Kelly is competitive. Okay, and it's just I
Ty
can't.
Kelly.
I can't.
He's an
it
everyday
seriously.
player.
Okay, yeah, that really dilutes the hunt.
Doesn't it? It's like, guys, this is like an incredible matchup, the best of the best throughout all the countries, and then you have Ty Kelly for Team Israel, and you go, that's
like-
the best
and
of the
win.
best,
And they win.
and they win. I'm not buying it. I can't buy it.
Can you imagine Israel wins? Oh my god.
It's Cinderella
No,
story.
you know what? I'm
all time.
rooting for them now. I'm rooting for them. I think they might win it all with Ty Kelly. Ty Kelly with the walk.
There's this Twitter page I got to show you guys.
I'll take your word for it.
Over. So we're gonna switch over. We're gonna see you next week. Another week closer to April 4th. It just can't come fast enough. We'll see you next week.
The leaves are brown, and the sky is a hazy shade of winter. So why not bring the kids or grandkids to Circle Time, songs and stories for children 6 months to 4 years old, on Fridays at 10:30 in the Westbury Memorial Public Library. For more info, call 516-333-0176 or visit westburylibrary.org. The community calendar is a public service from your friends at 88.1 FM and WCWP.org.
You can promote your club or event on air. Email us at info@wcwp.org.
WCWP Brookville 88.1 FM
LIU Post Public Radio.
WCWP.org